The night air was chilly for what was supposed to be the beginning of summer. You thought it may have been a weird change in the climate balance, climate change and whatnot aside. You slowly rubbed your arms with your hands, feeling the chill prick your skin. The last thing you wanted to do was be a burden after a lovely dinner. After all, you didn't account for this sudden snap. Curse your reliance on the weather app on your phone. Perhaps you needed to update it, or change to one more reliable. You immediately felt something heavy and warm wrap around your shoulders while you pondered on your thoughts, turning to an intense red glare, sighing under his breath. He wrapped his thick jacket around your shoulders before he drew your body next to his, keeping what body warmth that laid in his jacket trapped around you.
You should have said something,
muttered Bakugou under his breath.
Don't want you catching a cold.
I was fine,
you uttered, watching Bakugou's glare return back to you, fueled with suspicion. You couldn't take that kind of look from him.
Okay, I wasn't.
Bakugou scoffed before you felt his arm tighten around you. A smile curled on your lips from the gesture. You knew he wasn't a man of many words. Harsh ones, yes, but not many. His actions were what defined him, and after indulging and investing in this relationship, he grew to become a man on his own. It made you feel proud to see his growth. The night was agreed upon after months of scheduling, rescheduling, and compromising. Bakugou was one of the top pro heroes of Musatafu, and with that came not only responsibilities, but a constant need to be on call. There were many nights when you wouldn't ever see him at all. Maybe receive a text message every once in a while. You'd be lucky enough if he gave you a phone call. However, not only was he a pro hero that he had worked hard and strived to become, you were in the hypothetical adjoining boat. You weren't a top pro hero, such as the likes of Ground Zero, Deku, or Shoto. But you headed many of the local heroes in their regions and divisions, managing the groups in formation. And for that, you were just as busy. While the both of you walked together through the city, you eventually made your way towards the city park, its dim light illuminating the path. It was an occasional shortcut to your apartment. Bakugou would often lead you through here for a change of pace, or if the city streets annoyed him, or to get away from the public, just in case. It made you smile and chuckle inwardly at the very thought.
Had a good night, babe.
You turned towards Bakugou, whose eyes were still fixated ahead on the path. You smiled up at his gesture and his slightly aloof behavior, something that you've grown accustomed to.
Absolutely,
you replied.
Thank you for dinner. What's the occasion?
Occasion?
Bakugou's eyebrows twitched, if only a little, for you to notice the confusion written on his face.
Yeah, well, it's not every date night we go out to a Michelin 3-star restaurant,
you commented, tugging at his jacket.
And one that you booked yourself months in advance despite your pro hero ranking and fame.
So you're saying I can't even treat you to a decent meal without you questioning it?
You chuckled nervously at the sight of him, his eyes furrowed into that of annoyance. There were times you were testing his patience.
No, nothing like that,
you explained.
It's just you're still working your way up the rankings. You haven't surpassed Midoriya yet.
This warranted a slight curl of Bakugou's lips with a deep growl attached to it, causing you to be wary of your next words.
And, well, aside from you taking today off, nothing astronomically great has happened? So that's why I asked.
A grumble escaped from Bakugou's lips before he tightened his grip on you, ensuring that you stayed close to him while you walked through the city park.
Yeah, well, we both deserve something nice,
he quipped.
We decided to make this day the day, so of course I did what I did.
A smirk curled on your lips as an attempt to hold the giggles that nearly erupted from you after hearing Bakugou's reply. It was nice to know that he was still considerate. Of course, only when plans had been made and dates had been set. Date nights were rarely an event with your relationship, and so, spending time with the angry blonde outside of home and work felt like something special. And for Bakugou, he made it so. You wrapped his jacket a little tighter around your shoulders, taking in his subtle cologne and the scent that was him, before the both of you reached the large fountain in the center of the park. The lamppost illuminated its surroundings, but the water feature itself glowed from the lights that were installed inside. Its light decorated the water, decorating the trees with an ethereal glow. You immediately hopped away from Bakugou and jumped onto the edge of the fountain, playfully teetering on the edge, while you slipped your arms into the large arms of his jacket.
You better not fall in,
warned Bakugou, his gruff voice filled with a slight irritation.
That jacket was a gift.
Yeah, I'll bet Kirishima won't be pleased,
you commented with a playful smile, walking along the edge of the large fountain while Bakugou walked beside you. He watched you closely and carefully. 1, to make sure you didn't trip and fall, but 2, watching your light footfalls gracefully make their way along the stone wall of the fountain. It was the very first thing he noticed when the two of you first met. How you moved differently from others, as if you were compensating and being actively present and aware of your motions.
You seem to be getting more extravagant with these nights the more I think about it,
you thought out loud, catching the man's attention.
Remember that one time you wanted to take a trip somewhere out of the city and you hired a motorcycle?
Bakugou's brow quirked at the retelling, his steely gaze drawn towards you.
And I thought that it belonged to you, so you decided to play along with the idea that you were such a bad boy and—
The hell? I did not,
he interrupted.
No, I didn't want to make you feel like an idiot.
Yeah, well, you played along with it so well that you reeked bad boy material the whole trip. It's like the lie got to your head.
Bakugou flustered at the mention of the story, turning his head away from you with a slight pout. Denial was written all over his face. You saw it clear as day, or as clear as the night would allow. A chuckle bubbled in your throat, and though you tried to suppress it, Bakugou showed no restraint in speaking his mind.
It's not funny,
he retorted.
I had a lot of fun that day. And besides, we were in different agencies, so of course I had to turn up in style.
True. The both of you were only official after work placements were designated when schooling ended. During work study and internships, Bakugou and yourself would cross each other's paths. At first you noticed how focused and how grumpy he was. But after a few moments and encounters over some water cooler talk and elevator chatter, you began to learn more about each other and how your first impressions of him were only the tip of the iceberg. After all, during your internship with Endeavor's agency, you couldn't ignore the first-year winner of UA's sports festival, despite some controversy you heard about it every now and then.
I did appreciate it,
you concluded, hoping that you didn't sully his pride too much.
I had fun too.
You didn't account for a small chip on the basin's edge to trip you up, causing you to tumble over your feet in order to save your balance. It all happened suddenly. Bakugou immediately ran to your aid, his hand outstretched while he watched you fall towards the fountain's basin. As if by instinct, you outstretched your hands, pressing down against the tension of the water's surface before you propelled yourself backwards, the tiny sound of a boom echoing through the water as you did so. You flew, unfortunately not accounting for any physics before your body teetered towards Bakugou. With your arms flailing in the air to keep balance, you fell into his arms, the force of your momentum almost knocking the air out of him. You immediately clutched onto his shirt, feeling weightless in his arms before you peered up at his not-so-impressed expression.
Thanks?
You quietly spoke. Bakugou sighed, clutching onto your body while he continued to make the trek past the long water feature towards the other end of the city park.
Be glad you didn't propel yourself upward, because there's no way I'm catching you if you did.
He warned, his eyes focused ahead and not on you. You pulled a grimace. He was right. As much as talking physics with Bakugou was thrilling, your quirk was troublesome at times when you least expected it.
Glad you were here to catch me anyway,
you commented, trying to hide your embarrassment earlier. Immediately in response, Bakugou pulled you into a more comfortable position to manage. He lifted you up, ensuring that your head was at level with his, and allowing your arm to encircle around his neck for what you believed to be the nature of the rest of the trip home. With that, you felt his breath against your skin, warming the chill air while his lips hovered over your ear.
I'm always here to catch you,
he spoke with a playful tone in his voice.
Besides, I prefer you stay grounded. Twinkle toes.